Hi guys, welcome to Leicester Fan TV, the away fan show. Tonight I'll be joined by Glenn from Total Saints podcast to preview Leicester City away at St Mary's tomorrow night, which is Brendan Rodgers' 100th game in charge of the Foxes. Guys, go over to YouTube, please, if you're watching. Something wrong with Facebook, so go over to YouTube for me if you normally watch it on Facebook, and come and get your comments in there. As always, guys, smash a like, share, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV. As always, we are live every day of the week. Fan Zone show Monday, Tuesday tonight. The watch along tomorrow night with the boys as Leicester take on Southampton. Tom will be live with the pre-match show, away fan chat show on Thursday, talking to Aston Villa. Friday is Reedy, where he'll be previewing the next up-and-coming game for the Foxes. Leicester, obviously, in the next game, take on Aston Villa on Sunday. So the watch-along will be on Sunday at about 4 o'clock. The aftermath show before that. So please go and check out Jamie's show and the famous aftermath show. Guys, let's get started then, shall we?
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, welcome to Leicester Fan TV, the away fan show as Leicester City travel to St Mary's tomorrow night to take on Southampton. As always, guys, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us wherever you can find us at Leicester Fan TV tonight. And let's get the show cracking then. Let's have a look who's on. Jamie, give us a subscribe. Help us get to 9K. Yes. Let's go with TMR. Evening, Craig. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Jack, I can see you and hear you. Evening, pal. How are you? Be interesting to see if Jamie Vardy starts again. Hope Madison can carry on his form. Evening, Jack. Evening, Facebook user. Hope you're well, pal. Before we invite Glenn in then, Brendan Rodgers takes charge of his 100th Premier League game as Leicester City manager tomorrow night. Question is to you fans, favourite memories of Brendan Rodgers in his 99 games as boss so far? You tell me. I'd probably say the 9-0 Southampton win. But I'm not going to rub it in too much because we've got Glenn on tonight. So I'm sure he won't be happy with that one if I talk about it too much. Evening, Jack. I think we could see Justin tomorrow. Justin's out, mate. He's behind quite a bit with his injury. We need more snow. I'm off to Southampton tomorrow. So am I. This is only showing on Phil's feed, not Fans TV. Yes, something's obviously happened on the Leicester Fan TV page. Why it's not come up. So if you can switch over to Phil's or the YouTube at Leicester Fan TV, it'd be great if you guys can watch it there. The FA Cup final. No needs to play for the under-23s first. He does, James Justin. Guys, smash a like then. Share, subscribe, join the debate as always. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube tonight, it'd be really much appreciated if you can do that. And let's get the main man in then, Glenn. Glenn, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Lovely to be back in amongst all the all the 9-0 comments and all that. I don't know why I do it, to be quite honest. But here we are. You've got to have a sense of humour about these sort of things.
Yes. So a big game tomorrow night then, Glenn. Leicester obviously take on Saints at St Mary's.
Yeah.
You guys find yourself 15th in the table with 14 points.
Yeah.
Your last game in the Premier League then. Tell me about the trip to Anfield on...
the trip to Anfield was... it was funny. At some points of it, we had 9-0 on our mind again, because we played well for the opening minute, and then and then went behind with Liverpool's first attack, and it was just one of those horrible games where the manager got the formation wrong. We didn't do the basics, gave soft goals away, missed chances, and it got to 4-0 just after half time. And after that, thankfully, Liverpool just phoned it in for the rest of the game, because they similar to what they did against Arsenal a few weeks ago, they got to 4-0 and then just passed it around, took off the important players, put on a couple of others. So I think everyone was, from our point of view, was relieved to get out of there only getting beat 4-0. I mean, some people overreact to the fact that we were terrible, but I think it was softened a little bit by, unusually for him, Ralph came out and said he got it wrong, he got the formation wrong, and that was fair enough. He said, that one's on me. But I think it's the way Liverpool playing, especially at home at the moment. I don't think it matters what you do. It's when they're on form, they are the best attacking side in the league without a doubt. And if you make mistakes early in the game, you've had it really. So that's what happened. But more of a concern was the previous game to that, when we lost to Norwich, which was bad. That's one of only two what I'd call bad results this season where we've lost to teams that we should have got more out of. We lost to Norwich and we lost to Wolves earlier on in the season before they got going. But other than that, we had a very difficult set of fixtures at the start of the season. We had Chelsea, Man City, Man United, while they were still on their massive run of away games. So 15th place, 14 points. It might not look great, but it's probably on a par, if not better than many thought we'd be. So
yeah. Your form going into the Leicester game, then you've won 2, Glenn, drawn 1, lost 2. Yep. How have you found the last 5 games in the Premier League, Glenn?
We've had an international break in the middle, and international breaks are always interesting with us because, we'll talk about the 9-0 again, because after that we had an international break, and that was when Ralph kind of got his head around it all and sorted it out, and we were better after that. We went into this international break with 3 wins and a draw from 4 games, so there wasn't anything wrong. And we've come out of it, and he seems to have he's tinkered with things, and he's fixed things that weren't broken. It's almost like he had too much time on his hands or too many choices. And we had a strange formation in the Norwich game where we seemed to have too many central midfielders, and we had a strange one in the United game. In the Liverpool game, where we went in with sort of 3 out-and-out strikers, which was bizarre. So if you'd asked me this 2 weeks, it's funny how perceptions have changed, because I know Leicester have had a good result in Europe and you beat Watford, so everyone's feeling a little bit more positive about it. If this game had been 2 weeks ago, straight after the international break, I'd have been sort of like quite happy with our form going into it. And you wouldn't have been so happy, because I know you'd only won a couple of games out of 10 or whatever it was. But yeah, our last 2 games haven't been great. But we've got this game, and we've got Brighton on Saturday, where we really have to improve.
Yeah, I think with Leicester, Glenn, the last 2 games we've picked up form. I think that's now because Brendan Rodgers isn't going to Manchester United. I think them rumours have been squashed now to at least the end of the season. I mean, their new manager got confirmed yesterday, didn't he? Ralph Rasnick, is it? So that squashes the rumours. I think he's now reassured the players that he's going to be here for the long run, which is good to hear from Brendan Rodgers. And I mean, the team now can kick on, can't they, for the rest of the season? Well, without any doubts.
I'd be surprised if that was ever really a massive distraction. I mean, what struck me about Leicester this season is similar to ourselves. We've got a bigger squad this year than last year, and I think Leicester have as well. And I think sometimes the managers kind of overthink it and they change the team too much. And I know you've got the Europa League to think about as well, but there seems to be, I'm surprised Iheanacho doesn't appear to be playing much, and he was your main player at the back end of last season. Was scoring goals every week. He doesn't seem to have played much, and so I've not obviously don't pay as much attention as you guys do, but it seems to me from the outside that there's been quite a lot of chopping and changing, and it's led to some sort of quite disjointed performances up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Ross said you can have Vestergaard back if you want. I mean, we got buy one get one free at Southampton, didn't we, in the summer? Bertrand and Vestergaard. Is Vestergaard worth £15 million? I mean, you guys would have took that, wouldn't you? Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, rumor has it that we're going to build a statue to the CEO who got you to pay £15 million to him. So, and rumor has it that the statue actually moves faster than Vestergaard does. He is what he is. At the end of the day, he's a 6'6" central defender. He's big. He's not quick. So if everything's in front of him and he's moving onto the ball and he's heading it and tackling it, then he's fine. If players get in and around him and get him on the turn, then he's not great. And I draw comparisons with we've lost him to Leicester, and we had a better replacement already with Mohamed Salah, who is a better all-round player. He doesn't have the range of passing that Vestergaard has, but he's a better defender. And I look at when you guys, you Maguire left, and you got Fofana in, didn't you? Who's a better player? Probably. I know he's injured at the moment, but so you can replace central defenders reasonably well, and I think both teams have done that. So we haven't really missed him. The only thing we have missed him on is attacking set pieces. We don't seem to have the same threat as we had with him last year. But for me, it was a surprising buy for Leicester because I know you had a few injuries at centre half at the start of the season, but it was a surprising buy. I didn't think you particularly needed him, but there you go.
I think it was a panic buy, in my opinion.
Maybe.
If Fofana didn't get injured in that pre-season game, I mean, if that's in the Premier League, them sort of challenges on Fofana, it's a red card, isn't it, all day long? I mean,
I haven't seen it, I have to say, yeah.
I mean, with Vestergaard, I felt it were a panic buy, but then I look at it and think, you know what, we've been linked with him quite a lot of the time, haven't we? Yeah. In the January windows and the summer windows, but we never really got him, did we? And I think he came in as a replacement for Fofana. I don't think we would have signed him if Fofana never got injured. Obviously, Bertrand, free agent, could have gone to Arsenal, but he turned down Arsenal for Leicester. I think with the Arsenal one, he wouldn't have got game time, would he, Ryan Bertrand? He would have been stuck on the bench.
I mean, again, you've got, you have to forgive me if I forget the names, but you've got, is it Thomas at left back? You've got a couple of decent left backs. So I was surprised that, I mean, both Bertrand and Vestergaard, they've gone to Leicester knowing that they're probably not going to be first choice. And on the face of it, it's a strange move. I mean, Saints last year, we let in 68 goals. We let in loads, far, far too many goals.
With Vestergaard.
And you've signed half our defence. That was half our first choice defence. I mean, that's it. But I'm not saying it was solely their fault. But
you've got better since.
We've got a better defence now because we got more pace in it.
You have.
We've got Livramento, Walker Peters, Salas, who's quick, and the new Brazilian lad we've got, Lianco. He looks quite quick as well. So we can push higher up the pitch, and we don't have to worry so much about getting turned around. Which, when you've got Vestergaard in the team, there is always that worry if your midfield doesn't press high up the pitch and close the ball down, then if other teams' midfielders can get their head up and put the ball in the corner behind Vestergaard, then you are struggling a little bit.
I think with Vestergaard, we obviously name him the human lamppost. He's big, he's tall, and he don't really offer much. If you push high forward, he's not really a player who likes to run, is he? He's not the quickest. I mean, he's a giant.
a lot of these big guys, they're okay once they get going, but it's the first 2 or 3 yards that, good players will leave him for dead. So, he is what he is, and unfortunately, sometimes his skill set doesn't lend itself to the modern game with everybody sort of like pushed right up the pitch. But no, we don't particularly want him back, and yeah.
I think the receipt's passed its sell-by date, had it?
Yeah, I mean, I never. There's a couple of occasions where I've wanted players who've moved on to do badly, but I don't really have any. I don't sort of like begrudge him anything really. I hope he does well for you, but I'm not. I'm not entirely surprised it's looking the other way at the moment.
Yeah, let's have a look at a stat then, Glenn. Southampton have had 3 red cards in the last 3 meetings at home versus Leicester.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, two of them now play for you.
I think one of them was Højbjerg. Obviously, Ryan Bertrand in the 9-0 defeat, and then Yannick Vestergaard last season bringing obviously down Jamie Vardy. It feels like we're one of them teams who sign your players after they get sent off against us.
Yeah, it is quite funny, isn't it? But it's just the way it goes, I think. Who was Bertrand's foul was on Perez, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got like Leicester have got, if you've got forwards that commit defenders, it's always likely to happen. I mean, I think Vestergaard was actually a little bit unlucky to get sent off because he played the ball, didn't he? And the follow through caught Vardy, and then under the rules as they are now, you're always going to get sent off for that. So
of course,
but no, we did okay to get a draw out of that game last time. But yeah, I don't remember the Højbjerg one. I must admit, I don't remember that one at all. Knowing him, he probably forgot he'd already been booked and just launched someone. But yeah,
probably.
There you go.
One of them. Thoughts on Southampton's season, then, Glenn?
As I said earlier, it's probably a little bit better than what it looks like on the league table, simply because of the fixtures that we've had. But a lot will be shaped by how we get on these next 2 games. We've got 2 home games against Leicester and Brighton. In an ideal world, we'll get 4 points from those 2 games, and we'll be 18 points mid-table, and that will be fine for us this season. And then you look to push on over Christmas and the New Year. But however, if we get 0 or 1 points from these 2 games, then it's going to look a bit dodgy. But overall, the defence has tightened up a lot. And as I say, we let in so many goals last year. The first thing to do is to tighten that up, and we've done that. The problem we've got at the moment, even in games that we're winning, is that we're not very clinical in front of goal. So it's not just missing chances. We might score the first chance we have, but then we'll miss the next 9, where either we'll butcher the final ball or someone will hit an easy one straight at the goalkeeper, something like that. We don't, we're good up until the opposition penalty area, basically, and obviously that's where the penalty areas are where the games are won and lost, and we've got 2 strikers who've learnt their trade in the Championship, in Che Adams and Adam Armstrong, and they're not great in terms of percentage chances that they stick away. Adam Armstrong seems to hit a defender every single time he has a shot. Che Adams has had a little run of form recently, and he'll probably be the main danger tomorrow night.
Yeah, but let's have a look at some of the former players then, Glenn, who play for the Saints and the Foxes. Let's see if you remember any of these. Russell Osman.
Yes, I got sent out the ground for saying a rude word to him once. That was at Nottingham Forest.
Don't mention them on here either.
I was young. I was young, and it was the 90th minute, so it didn't matter. Mark Draper, yeah, he signed. I can't remember where we got him from. Did he play for us after you or before you?
I'm not sure. I think he made 24 appearances for you guys and scored 1 goal.
Yeah, he didn't do much. He was injured all the time.
Hammond.
Dean Hammond was our captain as we came up from League One back to the Premier League. He did really well in League One and the Championship. Premier League was always going to be a little bit of a stretch for him, but he never got given a chance, which was a bit of a shame. He never got given a chance whatsoever. So, and then he moved on to Leicester, and I was glad he got a few games in the Premier League, didn't he? And then he moved on. But Yeah, I met him at the end of season 2 once. He's a really nice bloke.
Dennis Roth.
Dennis Roth, I remember he was England B or England under-23 for Leicester when he was at Leicester. He came to Saints towards the end of his career, and he became a bit of a cult hero because he ended up as our coach, and he'd be out there in the freezing cold in February, just wandering around in a t-shirt and a pair of 1980s very short shorts, trying to whip the crowd up into to get more enthusiastic about things. But no, he's a popular guy around here. But he joined us at the end of his career. He wasn't the best as a player.
Peter Shilton,
absolute legend. He was great for us. He joined us when we were, a good side in the early 80s. We were finishing sort of regularly around the top 6 in the league, and we were a couple of players short of being a genuine sort of like side challenging for the championship in a couple of those seasons. And yeah, he made a massive difference compared to some of the clowns that we'd had in goal before that.
Peter Rodriguez.
Yep, FA Cup winning captain for us. Still the only trophy that we've won, really. In 1976, I think he was 33 or 4 when he signed for us, and he signed because the previous right back, a guy called Steve Mills, got injured and unfortunately had to retire. Rodriguez joined the club, and I think he was only there about 3 months, and he ended up captaining us in the FA Cup. So he's become one of our legends.
David Connolly,
back from the dead, always injured. When he came back, he'd score 3 goals in 3 games, get injured again, and everyone forgot about him for 6 months, and he'd be back from the dead again. But good player, but couldn't stay fit.
Casey Keller.
Only had him on loan. Did all right. I don't think he played many games for us, 4 or 5 perhaps. But did okay.
Johan Cruyff nearly signed for Saints, allegedly.
New one on me, that one.
Matt Oakley then, Glenn, the last one.
Underrated player for us. He was with us for sort of 10 years. The sort of player that you maybe didn't notice until he wasn't there. Got injured quite a bit towards the end of his career, but he did with us. But he did well for sort of like 7-8 years, and he moved on and played for Leicester. I think he was still playing when he was 40. He moved down to Exeter or something, and was still playing. So decent player for us for a number of years.
Yeah, Leicester's record then versus Saints. Glenn, we beat you 31 times, drawn 29 times, lost 34.
God, we're winning something. My word.
Jeez.
Give that another 3 games and sort that out. But
I think we beat you 3 times out of the last 4, I believe, at St Mary's.
Yeah, it's not surprising. We've been generally poor at home for quite a few seasons now. There's not been much going on, and we've only been winning sort of 6 or 7 home games a season, and it's not enough, and that is something that we need to sort out. But
last time round then, Glenn, at St Mary's, a 1-1 draw versus the Foxes. Obviously, Iheanacho gave away that penalty, didn't he? You guys were down to 10 men at the time in that second half.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that game?
Well, from what I remember, did we take the lead?
Yeah, you got the penalty, didn't you? We scored.
Yeah, we took the lead and got pegged back. Well, we were playing with 10 men from the 10th minute, which was roughly when Ryan Bertrand had got sent off when we lost 9-0. So there was a little bit of fear that lightning was going to strike twice. But we did actually learn the lessons from that game, and we kept it tight. Eventually got the penalty, and and Leicester equalised, and it was a very good point in the end for us. But I'm sure you lot didn't think it was a great point, but no, for us to sort of play 80 minutes with 10 men and come away with something was a decent performance.
If we'd won that game, we would have been in the Champions League.
There you go.
It's not great. Let's have a look at the return of the pair then, Glenn. You're happy enough to not have your back 4. Yannick Vestergaard, the human lamppost, and Ryan Bertrand.
Well, I've talked about Vestergaard already. Bertrand was a great player for us for 7-8 years. He replaced Luke Shaw when he moved to United, and yeah, Bertrand was a brilliant replacement. His career wasn't really going anywhere. He was at Chelsea not playing, and then he went to Villa and had half a season there, I think. And we signed him for 10 million quid, and he played for us for 7 years. And for probably 6 of those 7 years, he was absolutely excellent. You know, should have got many more caps for England. His face didn't seem to fit. He'd get picked for the qualifiers and play 6 or 8 of those, and then come the tournaments, he'd get left out. And he was a bit unlucky there. But yeah, very good player for us. But in his last season for us, he just seemed to lose his mojo a little bit. Got injured. There were a few rumours about maybe his attitude wasn't as good as it had been. You never know whether to take those sort of things seriously or not. He was allegedly interested in signing another contract, but I mean, how many years did you give him in the end? Was it 2 or 3?
I think it was 3 years.
Yeah, I think we were only offering 2 years because he was 32 or something. So, you know, but from a fan's point of view, what happened behind the scenes, whether he fell out with people in the boardroom or not, I don't know. But from a fan's point of view, I think most people are happy to say we paid 10 million quid. He played for us for 7 years, was largely excellent, and you know, good luck to him if he wants to move on at this sort of stage of his career. And yeah, so I've got no issues with Ryan Bertrand. The same. I haven't got any issues with Vestergaard. They both left as far as I was concerned, in a decent way. They didn't badmouth the club, and they were all right. You know, I've got more of an issue with Danny Ings recently, because he made all the noises that he was going to stay, and then he just, you know, 2 minutes before the season started, he was gone to a club that's not in the Champions League, like he said he was going to be. And so no, fair play to him. But I mean, I can't imagine, looking at your team sheets over the last few weeks, it doesn't look like either of them are going to be featuring from the start. But
no, I think I'd leave Vestergaard on the bench.
Yeah, or maybe, you know, we got some high light bulbs that might need changing, something like that.
Crazy. Glenn, our stadium then and yours, is it identical? Looking at them both,
They do look very similar. But I mean, I'm hearing you've got plans to build up one of the sides or something like that, or make it bigger.
Yes.
So yeah, I think around about when was yours? I mean, ours was 2001 first game.
I guess yours.
Yeah, I guess it was roughly the same time, and it's the same bars construction, wasn't it? So yeah, so we probably both got flat pack stadiums to the same design, and but yeah, there you go. So they are quite similar, and that's just the way it is. I think we'd all like the grounds to have a little bit more character, like our old grounds did. But that's progress, I guess.
Which was better then, Glenn, Filbert Street or the Dell?
I only went to Filbert Street once, and I was very, very young. I was only about 11, so I don't really remember it too well. I've only sort of seen it on TV. I love the Dell. There was something intrinsically crap about it. You know, it was great because it was, you know, it was just, I mean, the away end looked horrible. It really did. But I mean, it wasn't so bad when they put seats in. It was very small, but the away end, when it was terraces and stuff, going back a bit, obviously, it looked horrible. But no, I love the old football grounds, and it's still nice when you visit the odd one now that hasn't changed much since the since the 80s or 90s or whatever. But no, it's funny because the Dell has been built on now, and it's a sort of standard sort of set of flats, and I have never walked past it since 2001 because I don't want to. You know, I just don't want to walk. I don't want to turn around the corner and not see a football ground there. Do you know what I mean? I've never driven past it. I've never had any need to walk past it either. So that will continue as long as I remember.
Yeah. Glenn, team news then. Who's going to be coming back for you guys tomorrow?
Well, as I alluded to earlier, we've messed around with our formation a bit the last couple of weeks, and it hasn't worked. So I think we will go back to our 4-2-2-2 formation tomorrow. So I'm expecting Alex McCarthy in goal, back four of Tino Livramento on the right, Kyle Walker-Peters on the left. Mohamed Salisu will be one of the centre-backs. And the other centre-back will either be Jan Bednarek or our Brazilian cult hero in waiting, Lianco. So personally, I think Lianco will start this game because Bednarek had a bit of a shocker against Liverpool, and he's not been great for the last sort of few games. So I can see Lianco starting in a back four. Oriol Romeu and James Ward-Prowse in the centre of midfield. It'll be Che Adams and Adam Armstrong up front, I'd have thought. And the only real question mark is the wingers. I expect it to be Nathan Redmond and Mohamed Elyounoussi. They've missed games recently. I think Redmond had COVID, and his partner had a baby, and Elyounoussi partner's had a baby as well. So they've kind of been out of the squad a little bit recently, but they're both back for tomorrow. So I think those two will be on the wings.
Yeah, I think from a Leicester perspective, I can't see us making many changes, Glenn, to be honest. Do we rest Jamie Vardy tomorrow? Because we've got Villa on Sunday. We've got, obviously, Patson Daka in the waiting. I mean, does Daka start tomorrow for Leicester? I'm not sure. Guys, get it in the comments. Who's going to start tomorrow strike-wise, Daka or Vardy?
Does Daka start many league games?
Daka's more for the Europa League.
Yeah, I know he's been scoring goals in that.
It's just one of them. I mean, Maddison, I think he's going to start tomorrow. I think we'll go with the same back four, the Castagnas, the Luke Thomas, the Evans, Seunchu, Schmeichel in goal, Samare, Ndidi, Barnes and Lookman. I think we'll just make one change.
What's Ademola Lookman been like since he come in? Because that for me was another surprising signing, because when I watched him play for Fulham last year, I thought he kind of does some impressive things, but ultimately there's not a lot of end product there. And I just wondered how he was getting on.
I think when he first joined, he come under a lot of criticism. He wasn't the winger that Leicester City fans wanted. I mean, we signed a loan player rather than somebody we could have spent money on. But I think we would have spent money if we didn't have to bring Vestergaard in and Fofana wasn't injured. Lookman, he was quite attacking at the start, Glenn, a player who loves to get forward and that. But I think he's proved Leicester fans wrong. I mean, last few games before the Watford game and that, I don't think he'd attacked as much as I'd like to. But I mean, the Watford game, I thought he was quite good. He attacked and he did quite well. And he did well against Legia Warsaw as well. But that's Legia Warsaw, isn't it? It's not someone like Man United or Chelsea or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? I think tomorrow we do zonal marking, don't we, from corners? I don't know if you've seen us this season much.
I know you've not been great defending set pieces, but yeah.
That's something you guys are going to have to take note of tomorrow. I'm sure Ralph will have that in his little notebook.
Well,
tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we've got James Ward-Prowse, who is, his set pieces haven't been as good this season as they were last season with the corners and stuff. We've only scored one goal from a corner this year, and that was a game where Ward-Prowse wasn't playing. Funnily enough, it was Nathan Redmond took that one, and Livramento scored a header. So it's it's something that I hope they're practicing this week, because I know Leicester can be a bit of a car crash at the back with set pieces, and that could be a way to go for us. But we've not been great at them either. So someone's got to improve tomorrow, haven't they?
I just hope it says it's not you.
Yeah.
We've scored quite a lot of set pieces this season, Glenn. Leicester have, so I guess we've improved in that area rather than defending. We've actually scored them.
Yeah, our defending of set pieces is interesting. Sometimes it looks okay, and then other times we do a sort of hybrid. We have the three sort of biggest players line up on the edge of the 6-yard box, zonal marking, and then all the smaller players are supposed to block off the giant centre halves of the other team, and sometimes it's just terrifying. Every time the ball's in the air, you're sort of thinking, "Oh my God, what's happening here?" But we seem to have mainly got away with it, but I'm not sure how scientific that's been. So there could be carnage from free kicks tomorrow at both ends.
Oh, good. Hopefully, it's an entertaining game. Obviously, it's going to be freezing cold down at South Coast. Don't know if you guys have had snow yet, have you? So
little bits, but
God.
it has been absolutely Baltic the last few days. And the reason I know this is because my central heating's packed up. So that's so I've been sat here trying to work from home in this very seat, and it's not been pleasant, put it that way. So so I'm waiting for the central heating engineer to turn up on Thursday. So great.
Have you had a selfie with your twin yet, Glenn?
No, not as yet. He's far too busy to hang around with people like me.
Have you ever met him, Glenn, since he's been at Southampton?
I've done a Zoom call thing because we got
with him.
Yep, he came on the podcast, and it was to be honest, it was before people had started making the comparison, which mainly came from you lot, and it was quite interesting. And when you look it back, and you've got this, I think there were 3 of us on the call. There's me, Ralph, and the lad Ben who ran the podcast last year. It was quite interesting watching it back afterwards and seeing that. I'm kind of glad I didn't know beforehand, or I hadn't thought of it beforehand, because I'd have, God, yeah. But as I said before, roughly the same height, roughly the same age, and I think I'm about 3 stone heavier, and I think he probably earns a little bit more money than me. So fair play to him.
Oh, what's your predictions then, Glenn, for Saints this season?
This season, I think it's not gonna be particularly exciting, and to be honest, I'd probably settle for that. I think we're gonna middle along most of this season between sort of 12th and 15th. I would predict, and it all depends on if we get a little run of games going where we pick up 4 wins out of 5 or something, then we could scrape into the top half. But I anticipate us finishing around 12th, 13th this season.
Yeah. Right then, Glenn, score prediction for tomorrow night.
I'm naturally optimistic, before every game, apart from when we're playing Liverpool. So I'm going to go in. I quite fancy tomorrow. Funnily enough, I think I'll go for a 2-1 win for us.
Will there be a red card shown to Southampton tomorrow, though?
Yeah, well, I wasn't aware of that. I mean, it's who's the referee? Do we know who the referee is?
No,
because we got a few pet hate referees. If it's John Moss or Mike Dean, then yeah, we're likely to get another red card. In fact, there's Andrew Mariner. That's another one. Rumor has it he refereed us last week, and he was celebrating Liverpool goals. He's an interesting guy. Who have we had fun with recently as well? Martin Atkinson. He's another one that I don't particularly like. So, yeah, we'll see what it's like with the referee. But I don't think you can go into any game worrying that you got a red card against these last few times. So, we'll see what happens.
Guys, get your score predictions in, whether you're watching it live or on playback. Get your score predictions in for tomorrow. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Leicester win. I think we'll come and take the points tomorrow. Ross says, on a serious note, great guy you are, Glenn. If you are down the ground tomorrow, come and have a chat with us.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see what... I don't know what time I'm going to get down there. It's going to be a bit of a squeak tomorrow because it's a 7:30 kickoff, isn't it? Which is a pain in the bum because it's on. Is it Amazon Prime? It's on
Amazon Prime, 7:30.
Yeah, so 7:30's a bit of a pain because I've got to. I go with my dad, so I've got to go and get him, and he lives sort of like the other direction. So I'm going to be a bit tight for time tomorrow. So we will try our best.
Robert Jones is the referee tomorrow.
Robert Jones. He doesn't. It's not a name that springs to mind, so he can't have been too bad for us as yet.
8-2 to Leicester. Saints are on the up.
Well, it would have been an improvement, I guess. A couple of goals, but no.
Where can everyone find you, Glenn, from a neutral perspective? Then,
from any perspective. So, Total Saints podcast is the recordings that we do. We started doing them live, which is a bit dangerous. It's similar to doing this show. it's a bit dangerous. I've got a tendency to be a bit flowery and colourful with my language sometimes. So I have to remind myself that this is going out live. No bleeps. Especially if you get a real bad result, it is quite difficult sometimes. So you can see my Twitter handles on there at L1-10. That's for League One -10, which is the blog I write, which I do swear a lot in. So yeah, that's a not safe for work publication, but I like to think it's entertaining. But yeah, Total Saints podcast is the main my main sort of presence these days, and that's that goes out live on YouTube every Sunday night, and it ends up on Spotify and all the normal places for podcasts on Monday morning, unless we've got a game at a ridiculous time, in which case we might move it. But that's generally what happens.
Right then, Glenn, thank you for coming on.
No worries, mate.
And good luck after tomorrow.
Yeah, likewise. What's the expectations for you guys this season? I'll just put a question your way.
The expectations. Do you know what? If looking at it, we were favourites for the Europa League this season. I said to myself, if we don't win the Europa League this season, then I'd have took top 6. So I'd be happy with either one, to be honest. But you got to be optimistic, haven't you, Glenn?
Yeah.
Obviously, 4th place is up for grabs, isn't it? West Ham, Brighton, Leicester, Man U, Tottenham. It's anyone's.
Yeah. Fourth place is a definite. It'd be interesting to see what Man United do, because obviously, if new guy gets it right, then they're going to be tough, aren't they? Because of simply because of the array of players that they've got. But yeah, because I mean, before the sort of recent wins, I know there was a few sort of grumbles coming out of Leicester, weren't there, about because at the time you were bottom of the Europa League group and not winning many games in the league. So it's I'd just be interested to know what because obviously you won the cup last year, and that brings a increased expectations. Signed a few more players. Just wondered what would be considered a successful season this year.
I think with us this season, Glenn, it's been the way we've set up. 5 at the back doesn't work for us. I think we've been more playing out from the back in that rather than actually thinking forward. We've been thinking for the next pass, going backwards and forwards. And I think that's where we've been very frustrated as fans. And then teams have then pressed us back and became very annoyed with it, we have. And I think now, playing 4 at the back and looking forward, I think we'll be more better with it. Yeah,
well, interesting to see what happens. But no, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. It's we haven't had a midweek game for a while, so it's it'd be quite nice to get out of the house on something other than the weekend. It won't even be cold for me, I'll tell you.
Until you get down to St Mary's, and you'll be thinking different.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, Glenn, thank you for coming on, pal.
No worries, pal.
See you in a bit.
Yeah, cheers.
That was Glenn from Southampton, Total Saints podcast. Go and check them out if you're a neutral fan. He covers all things Southampton. Also, go and check Glenn's report out. It's L-10 on Claude Powell. Time at Southampton if you're interested in that. See what Southampton fans really thought of Claude the Fraud. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, smash a like as always if you've enjoyed tonight's show. Subscribe to us at Leicester Fan TV on YouTube. Sorry if you can't watch us on Facebook on Leicester Fan TV. Something's happened, but I'm sure it will get fixed. Sorry if you haven't been able to watch us on Facebook tonight. But as always, guys, thank you for everybody who has watched us tonight on YouTube, on the other Facebook parts of it, but not on the main channel, of course. But it'll all be resurrected for tomorrow night's watch along. If you can't watch it on Amazon Prime, go and check out the watch along. It's 7 o'clock tomorrow. Join all the boys. Let them know pre-match what your thoughts are, and after the game, hopefully Leicester will go to St Mary's and win in the freezing cold. Hopefully the snow stays off, though, this time. We can't be dealing much more of that than what we had at the weekend, eh? But like you say, let's keep going, Foxes, and let's keep our run going. A lot to build on, and hopefully we'll be in that top 6 by the end of the season. See you tomorrow, Jack. Get the salads in. Ross, keep them salads to yourself. No one wants to be near you with a salad. If you see Ross, avoid him at all costs. If he offers you anything to do with a salad, just please say no. Just act like you've not seen him before. Just walk straight past. But always, guys, thank you so much to everybody who's watched tonight. Please smash a like, share, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV as always. Please go and follow us everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can find us at Leicester Fan TV. Go and do so, please. It'd be much appreciated. Every follow is appreciated here at Leicester Fan TV. Thank you to the sponsors: Hollogram, ADT, Tiger, Pizzeria, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, the Foxes Arms, Newby Co, and our chosen charity, Hope Against Cancer. Thank you to all the guys who follow us and sponsor us at Leicester Fan TV. Find me, Ross. Well, you're like a magician, reader. You're here 1 minute and gone the next. Well, that's it. So, yeah, let's quickly see then what's coming up on Leicester Fan TV for the rest of the week. Obviously, the watch-along tomorrow. The Thursday show with Tom, where I'll be talking to Aston Villa to preview the next game and talk about, obviously, Leicester's game against Southampton, post-match thoughts. Pre-match with Reedy on Friday to talk everything in the Leicester camp and talk about Brendan Rodgers' press conference ahead of Villa. The watch-along is on Sunday with the boys as Leicester travel to Villa Park. That'll be about 4 o'clock. And before that, Jamie's Aftermath show at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, talking all pre-match Aston Villa, Leicester. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. This is Jack from Leicester Fan TV saying goodbye for now. And I will see you very soon. Come and say hello to me if you're at St. Mary's tomorrow. Let's talk football. Bye-bye, everyone, and have a good night. Come on, Leicester. Goodbye for now.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, the Foxes Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.